Hi everyone and welcome to Book Boop. My name is Rachel and today I'm going to talk about all the books that I'm hoping to possibly get to during the summer season. I went through all the long list of books that I want to read at some point and just kind of picked the ones that kind of jumped out at me that felt summery to me and I thought would be fun to read during the hot summer months. So I've got 22 different books to fit with 2022 of what I'm hoping to get to in the summer. Before I get to that though, I'm sorry that I feel like lately I've been a little bit more sporadic with posting. Life was really busy last weekend. I didn't end up filming or posting a video, so I'm sorry about that. I usually try to stay really consistent and post every single Monday, so I apologize that I've missed some lately. But welcome to all those who are new. I'm so happy you're here. And let's go ahead and jump into the 22 books that I feel like would be fun to read during the summer. So 3 of the books I do actually own physically. I'll talk about those first, and then the rest of them I just have a picture to hold up for you so you can at least see the cover. I'm going to run through these pretty quick and not give super detailed descriptions, mainly because every single one of these I don't have like a super detailed thing in my head, but I at least know enough to tell you what it's about. But let's go ahead and jump in. This first one, I think it has the cutest cover and is perfect for summer, and that is Eva Evergreen, SemiMagical Witch by Julie Abe. Just look at that, it's so cute. This definitely has Kiki's Delivery Service vibes. This is all about a little girl who she moves to a new town and she wants to help the people there with the magic she has, but she really has a problem with magic because whenever she does magic, I think she falls asleep. So I think it just wears her out overly whenever she does magic, but she's trying to improve her magic, and you can tell it's just got this great little Kiki's Delivery Service vibe because she's just on her little broom in this little village, and it looks like she has like a little pet, like Kiki's Delivery Service. So I think it looks adorable. I'm really excited about it. I think it looks precious and it looks perfect for summer. The next one, this is one I've been holding on to read in the summer because it just screams summer on the cover, and that is The Remarkable Journey of Coyote Sunrise by Den Gamenhart. And this one is about a little girl and her dad who actually live on a old school bus. They have outfitted it, I think, the inside to be more like a mobile home, and they're just driving all over the country. They've been doing this ever since her mother and wife passed away, and her father's been avoiding going back to their home because he doesn't want to face memories, but the daughter is wanting to go home. And she's kind of trying to trick her dad in a way to driving back to home without him realizing it. And it's supposed to take place during the summer, I believe. So it just sounds really perfect for the summer and super cute. So I think that one will be fun. This one, I feel like looks more spring in the cover, but things like flowers and things like that just make me think of spring and summer. So this is another one, Watch Over Me by Nina LaCour. I've been wanting to read this one for a really long time. It's just such a tiny little thing. And all I know about this one is we are following this girl who has finally graduated high school and has become of age. She's now 18 and she's able to step outside of the foster system, and she's given an opportunity to go live on this remote farm, and she decides to take up that opportunity to kind of start fresh and to just sort of be in nature. But I think when she goes there, I guess the farmhouse is either haunted or she's kind of faced with ghosts of her past or something like that. It sounds like it's spooky and also psychological. So I'm really excited about this one. I think it sounds really cool. Also, I got to show you this because it freaks me out every time. So you've got her in the front and she's looking down, and then you open it and she's staring at you. It scared me the first time I opened it. But I think it's so cool. Okay, those are the ones that I physically own. So now I'm going to hold up the ones that I don't own, and hopefully I can get a hold of to read. The first one, I feel like I've put this one on mini TBRs or something, but I've got, oh wait, hold on. Let me change the brightness. I just realized. Let me turn it all the way up so you can see it really well. Okay, we've got Unbirthday by Liz Braswell. I always think of spring and summer with Alice in Wonderland. This one is a Alice in Wonderland retelling. Only thing I really know about it is this tagline in here that says, "What if Wonderland was in peril and Alice was very, very late?" I've heard it's actually pretty similar to kind of the classic tale, but just with some different twists in it. So I'm excited to read it. It sounds really neat. I still haven't read any of the twisted tales that have been written for Disney. So I feel like this is the best one to start with because I adore Alice in Wonderland. So I think it'd be fun. And I've heard good things about it. And I think it'd be just a fun summer read. The next one is actually the third book in a series that came out last year, and I really need to get to it, and that is A Tale of Sorcery by Chris Colfer. This is, like I said, the third book in his Tale of Magic series, which is a prequel series to the Land of Stories series that he wrote. However, I feel like you could read this without reading Land of Stories, but it just references characters from Land of Stories. And it's so good. It's just like this mashup fairy tale world, and it's so fun to read. It's fast-paced and funny and magical, and I love it. And a lot of it follows a fairy godmother as she's a child. And I just think it's a lot of fun to read, and I love his writing, and I need to get back into it. However, I definitely need to read a recap of the second book because I don't really remember what happened. I'm going to be so lost. This one sounds absolutely perfect for summer. It's called All These Pretty Things by Emily Arsenault. First of all, I love that cover. I feel like it's just so spooky. But this is a YA murder mystery. We are following a girl who is working at an amusement park for the summer with her best friend. But while they're working there, one of their coworkers turns up dead, and her best friend also kind of ends up in a psych ward as well. She's the one that found the body, and she's just having a hard time with it. And everybody in the amusement park is kind of saying it was an accident, just something happened and it's fine. But our main girl that we're following, she thinks something is amiss and that it was a murder. So it's a murder mystery, and she's trying to figure out what happened. So it sounds perfect for summer because it takes place during the summer, during summer vacation at an amusement park. It sounds like a good time, a nice, creepy, murdery good time. All right, when I think of summer, I also think of contemporaries. I don't read contemporary very much, but I'm more interested in reading it in the summer because it just feels like the right time. And I really need to read some Elizabeth Acevedo. I've heard so much about her writing. And one of them is Clap When You Land. This one sounds really, really cool. She is I think she does slam poetry and just poetry in general. And this particular story is written in verse, so I'm very excited to read it and try that out. In this story, we are following these two separate young women, and their father dies in a plane crash. However, their father has two different families, and these girls find out about it. So these girls are technically half sisters, but they don't know about each other until after their father dies. So it sounds like a really strange and almost sad concept, to be honest, to find out your father has like two different families in two different countries. That sounds really sad. But I think it sounds like a really cool story. I really love the idea of reading something in verse. And I've just heard incredible things about this book, so I'm excited to try it out. And let's see. Next, this one, it's just the colors of this cover and just the ridiculousness of it just makes me think of summer, and I'm excited to try it. And it's called Eat Your Heart Out by Kelly DeVoe. This book, okay, it takes place during the summer as well. Our protagonist here is being sent to a fat camp. She doesn't want to go. She doesn't feel like she really needs to lose weight, but she is sent to a fat camp. And while she's there, there is a zombie outbreak. And as you can see, just blood and gore ensues, and it looks like a good time. I don't know, that's all I really know about it, and it sounds like fun, and it sounds like it sounds like watching like a summer slasher movie, but it's zombies. So I guess like a summer zombie movie. I think it sounds like fun, so I'm excited about that. I'm jumping around in genres a lot, so I apologize. I'm just going down the list here. The next is one that actually came out this year. It's called The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea by Axio. I apologize if I pronounced that author's name incorrectly. This story is a fantasy, and it's about this area where there is a god in the ocean, and to the village or like the area there feels like to appease this god, they have to sacrifice a girl to the ocean, to this god, to be his bride, because they're trying to find the perfect bride for this ocean god. And this girl is destined to be kind of like the next sacrifice. And there's a boy that is in love with her and doesn't want her to be sacrificed. The boy's sister decides to, I think, sacrifice herself, or I don't know. Basically, she ends up being sacrificed. She ends up in like this different world beneath the sea. It kind of reminds me of like, if you've seen Moana and there's like that middle part in the movie where she goes to the land of monsters, I think it's that kind of vibe where it's like under the ocean, and she ends up finding out, I think that the god is actually asleep and she's needing to find out how to wake the god up, and like, I don't know. It just sounds very fantastical, and I think it's supposed to have a lot of existing folklore in it, so it sounds really neat. I'm sorry, I felt like that was a giant garble of mess of explaining that, but it sounds really, really cool and looks perfect for summer as well. Moving on back to Elizabeth Acevedo. I also want to read With the Fire on High. This is another contemporary. We're following this young woman who is in high school. I think she's like a senior in high school. And she either is pregnant or she already has a young child and she wants to go to culinary school because she wants to be a cook. And a lot of this book focuses on cooking and food. And I've heard like it's just such a fabulous book of family and just family bonding and friendship and also food, and that sounds wonderful. I'm excited to try it out. I think it's going to be a fantastic contemporary. And again, heard so many amazing things. I really need to get to it. This next one, I'm a little bit confused if it sounds like it's supposed to be a thriller or more contemporary. I think it might be a mix, but I'm not sure. It's called Happy and You Know It by Laura Henkin. This one sounds like such an interesting concept. So we are following this young woman who originally was in a band, and then she is a starving artist and needs to make some money, and so she ends up becoming a musician for like a baby playtime for like really well-off fancy moms. And apparently like she kind of gets to know all these different moms, and they're kind of like these picture perfect people, you know, going to spin class and having their juice cleanses and, you know, wearing their fancy workout gear, and she's just playing music for all their little babies and toddlers, and she gets kind of mixed up within all these moms' lives. And I think there's just a lot of drama and stuff going on in these moms' lives that she finds about. Sometimes when I read the description, it sounds a little bit thrillery, like maybe there's some dark secrets kind of thing, but it also sounds contemporary at the same time. It sounds like they kind of bond and get to know each other through all their differences. And it just, I don't know, it just sounds interesting. I've had it on my TBR for a long time, so I'm interested to try it. This one has been on my TBR for a long time. I need to figure out if I can get a hold of it because my library does not have these. So I don't know how I'm going to read them, but I want to figure out a way. And I want to read the I Hate Fairyland series by, Scotty Young. I almost said the name of the first one. It is a graphic novel or comic book series, and it sounds hilarious. If you could tell, it looks a little bit gruesome, but cute at the same time. We're following this what looks like a young girl. She has gone to Fairyland and she's stuck there. She went there when she was 6 years old, but she doesn't age. At this point, she's 40, but still looks like a 6-year-old. And she hates Fairyland and she just wants out. And I think she has a battle axe and she just looks angry. It just looks really funny and I really want to read it. It just looks adorable. Let me know if you've read this series or read any of those. They just look funny. It says it's like a mix of Adventure Time and something else, and Wizard of Oz, I think, which sounds perfect for me. I'm really excited about this. All right, this one I'm really pumped about. This is in one of my most anticipated releases for the year. I think it just came out or is coming out in May, and it's called Hide by Kirsten White. You guys, this is another one that takes place in a amusement park, and it's an old abandoned amusement park, and there is this game that's going to be played out where a group of people are going into this old amusement park and they have to last, I think, a week without being found. They have to hide. And apparently if you're like the last person to be found or you're never found, then you win a whole bunch of money. And so we follow this girl who is entering this competition, and then some of the competitors start to disappear, and there's something like creepy going on. So it sounds like almost like haunted or disturbing thriller, maybe murdery old amusement park. I mean, that sounds so good. I'm so excited, you guys. That one sounds so perfect for summer too. Anything having to do with like an old or creepy amusement park just sounds perfect for summer, doesn't it? Okay, next. It's called Little Eyes by Samantha Schweblin. I'm not sure if that's right or not. This one sounds creepy and I'm all for it. So we're following this sort of futuristic concept of this toy that's come out, and it sounds like it's like a little stuffed animal or something, but the eyes are cameras and the little stuffed animal is on like wheels or is able to move around. But these toys are connected to this vast online network that apparently is available for people to use. So like you could have like a random person watching you through the eyes of these toys. So like there's people that are like obsessively follow different people around, and like it just sounds really creepy. And of course some disturbing things start to happen because no duh, if you just have like an open field for people to just watch people, that sounds like that's not going to go well. It just sounds really creepy, and just the idea of having like these creepy little toys, it just gives me Chucky vibes for some reason, even though I don't think it gets murdery, but I don't know. It sounds spooky. This is another one that is coming out this year that sounds perfect for summer, and that is Night Shift by Alex Finlay. The only thing I know about this is that the beginning of the book takes place in the 80s, I think, at a Blockbuster, or is it a 90s? It takes place at a Blockbuster, okay? And like there's something like the teenagers that were working there, they get murdered one night and it's never solved, and then like in the present day it starts to happen again. But the fact that like there's a Blockbuster involved, I'm just like, oh, the memories. All the memories, you guys. And it just sounds summery. I think it takes place in the summer, maybe. I don't know. When I think of Blockbuster, I think the summer, and I think of like going there and just perusing the aisles and finding different movies or video games to play, and oh my goodness, the memories, you guys. Sometimes I kind of miss that. I miss going to a Blockbuster. Apparently there's one more, it's left still in business. I think it's in Alaska. Okay, on to another one that sounds more contemporary, but also has a nice supernatural twist, and that is Vampires, Hearts, and Other Dead Things by Margie Fuston. And the reason that it's paranormal, there's a vampire involved, as you can tell from the title of the book. But we are following this girl whose father is dying, I believe, of cancer, or he has some kind of terminal illness. And she travels to New Orleans to, I think, convince a vampire to help save her dad. That's all I know. I think maybe there's a romance involved. I'm not sure. Maybe she falls in love with the vampire. I don't know. But it looks very contemporary. It looks summery, but it'll give me the paranormal fall vibes that I also crave. So I think it's going to be perfect for the summer. All right, next. This one, I love the cover of this book. I know I talked about before, flowers make me think of spring and summer. The cover is so cool. It's This Poison Heart by Kaylin Barron. Can you look at that for a second and appreciate the beauty of that cover? That's ridiculous, you guys. Like, that just sucks me in. I'm like, I have to read that. So this story, we're following this lovely protagonist right here, and she has the ability to grow plants instantly. She can touch a seed and just poof, there's the plant. And her aunt passes away, and her aunt has left her old manor. And when she goes to this manor, there's also her botanical garden that she has, and there's like lots of different poisonous plants and things like this. And she ends up becoming involved, I guess, in the apothecary type thing her aunt used to run. I think her aunt has the same similar powers that she did. And then she ends up kind of starting to make tinctures and things for this apothecary. And then some other stuff goes on, and people want her to make nefarious things. And I don't know. I know that sounds very vague, but it just sounds really cool. And the cover is really cool. So I really want to read it. I think it sounds awesome. There is a sequel as well, too. So hoping I love it because I would like to read the sequel. Okay, this one is a sci-fi mixed with kind of contemporary kind of vibe. And that is Clara and the Sun by Kazuo Ishiguro. I feel like I botched that horribly. I'm sorry. This has been a very popular book. I've heard about it everywhere. I believe it is a translated work. And when I say it's sci-fi, it is following this android, I guess you can say android, that is named Clara. And this is in a world where people will purchase androids as companions for friendship, and there's a little girl, I think, who's very, very ill, and she's not able to go out very much, and her parents decide they're going to buy an android for her to be her companion. And this little girl goes to the store, and she ends up picking this older model named Clara. And the story, I believe, all takes place through the android's eyes, and just her learning about just love and life, and just learning different things about humans and what it means to be human. I've heard it's a rather slow-paced book, but it just sounds so intriguing to me. I love the idea, and also it sounds slightly disturbing, like the idea of having an android that can kind of learn and grow but like seems very human. I don't know. It's such an interesting concept to me. It makes me think of like Star Trek, like Data from Star Trek. So I'm excited to try this one. I'm hoping it's not too slow for me, but I don't read a whole lot of translated works and I really would like to read more. So I think that one sounds really neat and I've heard a lot of good things. Okay, you guys, I've got 4 more left. Hang in there with me. Okay, this next one is a thriller mystery that looks fantastic. It's called The Cousins, and it's by Karen M. McManus. This one I've heard a lot of good things about. So we are following a family who has been estranged from the grandmother in this family for a long time. The grandmother just doesn't have anything to do with the family. And then one day, the grandmother sends letters to all the kind of kids in the family, so all these cousins, and invites them to come to her, I think it's like a resort or something. Her grandmother runs a resort and invites the cousins to come to the resort to like work there for the summer. And this is totally out of nowhere because the grandmother hasn't really had any contact with the family. And all the parents insist you need to go because this grandmother is very wealthy. They want to get into the grandmother's good graces so that, the grandmother will leave all the money and stuff to the family. And so they send all the cousins there. And of course, while the cousins are there, there's some things that start to happen. They start to learn more about like why their grandmother doesn't talk to the family. And like, I think there's a lot of just creepy things that happen and very thriller type stuff. So it sounds like a good time, and also takes place during the summer. It's like during a summer vacation thing and they're going and working at this resort. It just sounds really good, and I'm all about reading more and more thrillers and mysteries because I love reading them. They just grab me. Okay, this next one, I love this cover so much, and it's the UK cover. The UK covers for this series are so much better than the US ones, and that is Psytonic by Brandon Sanderson. This is the 3rd book. I almost want to say the final book, but I think there's a 4th one coming out. This is the 3rd book in the Skyward series by Brandon Sanderson, which is a YA sci-fi series. We are following this girl who is a part of a group of fighters on a planet that is protecting the planet to keeping the humans from being blown away, basically. And there's a lot more to it than that. I don't want to say because I don't want to spoil anything because it's running together in my brain what happens in the 1st book and the 2nd, so I don't want to spoil anything. But it's a sci-fi. I really enjoy it. I love the main character. She is sassy and spunky, and I just really enjoy the story. There's lots of twists and turns to it, and it's a good time. So I really need to get to this next book. I'll probably need to read a description for the 2nd book so I can remember what happened, because there's a lot that happens in these books. All right, 2 more. All right, this next one looks very summery. It's called Mermaid Moon, and it's by Susan Kokel, and that's another gorgeous cover. It looks like a painting. It's just so pretty. So this story, we're following a mermaid, and she was cursed when she was born, I think, to where her mother and just the group of mermaids don't remember her. Like they don't know where she came from. And so I think she goes on a journey to either lift the curse or to find out who she is, or I don't know. It's basically like a journey type thing, and it sounds really cool. And I think it sounds kind of Little Mermaid-ish in a way. I think she ends up going to get a spell put on her to have legs so she can go on land, because there's certain things she needs to find on land to find out who she is, and I don't know. So it sounds like a magical journey type thing, and mermaids just sound summery, and I think it'll be a good time. All right, one more. Let's do this. This is another new one that just came out, and the colors and the vibe of the cover just scream summer to me. And that is A Magic Steeped in Poison by Judy I. Lin. This one is following a girl who she makes tea for a living, and she ends up accidentally creating a tea that's poisonous. I think that kills her mother. I think that's right. And then like her little sister is in danger. And then I think she joins a tea making competition. I don't fully remember. Now that I'm thinking about it, I probably should have reread the description for this before I filmed this video. But it just sounds really good. I personally love tea. So the idea of having a story that's centered around tea making just sounds really cool to me. So I'm all for it, and it just sounds cool. So there we go. All right, that is a long list of books I hope to get to in the summer. Will I get to all of them? Probably not. I'm going to try to get to as many of them as I can. They all just give me summer vibes. I think it'll be a lot of fun to read. Let me know down below if you have read any of these. Let me know if there are certain books you're hoping to get to in the summer, or if you have any suggestions for me for some summer books. Again, for summer, I usually think contemporary. I'll think sci-fi kind of a little bit, and I also think like fast-paced thriller type things specifically set in the summer, like things that are take place during summer vacation or things like that. So just let me know down below all those things. If you don't know what to put, I think there's an emoji for, is there an emoji for a beach ball? If there is, or just like put an emoji down below of something summery if you don't know what to say, because that'd be fun. We could just have all these summery emojis down there. Okay, on this side of the video is my logo. If you click on that, you can subscribe to my channel, follow me on my book journey. I would love to have you here. On this side of the video over here is a suggestion for another one if you'd like to watch another video right now. But thank you so much for watching. You rock. And don't forget to keep reading. Bye.